How did you go about getting the clients that you do have now, like the endeavors? How did you actually go out and do that? Was it just from knowing people in the industry? Did you, start knocking on doors and you found those mistakes of, not disqualifying partners? How did you go about it?
Well, it actually what's the biggest effort. Finding the first client is always tough, right? The toughest part is to find the first client that bought into your idea. Even when you don't have anything, when your product is just just a few buttons here and there, it's not functioning at all. So so the current client base that we have right now, it's actually throughout a variety of approaches. One to email, one to introduction, one to cold call, one through industry event where I go out and I present it. So I would say it's come from all different sources, and we want to utilize all of those.
And we'll get you on the bullpen soon too. So
yeah,
if you guys have checked out the bullpen,
awesome.
we'll get Duke and USI Tech on the bullpen, so you guys can go check out a full demo of the product and let us know what you think.
Yeah, I think I think the whole thing's fascinating. Just seeing that you saw the problem, you developed a solution. You're just kind of going about it like you didn't need to go do a big capital raise. You're just like, look, I'm just gonna build it and go get some clients. I'm gonna learn sales and I'm gonna do everything. And I think that you're also the timing of the market. People don't understand this, but timing of the market is so important as well. And I think that the timing's right for you too, just because there are a lot of there's no capital in the space. Through either the public markets or LPs and the private equity funds are like, hey, you guys have, just screwed us and haven't made us any money. We're not wanting to allocate any capital to it. But I think that this industry needs a lot more transparency. Absolutely. And the investors need a lot more faith and trust and like, hey, the type curves are correct. Your reserve estimations are correct. You have the amount of oil and gas that you said that you're going to have. And, I think that stuff like this is really needed for the industry to move forward over the next decade.
Yeah, I think the banks should start using this instead of some of the other
banks. I see the banks. Would be a huge client of y'all. So that
I appreciate that.
Some people like to think that the banks have no exposure because RBLs are backed by an asset, but we're starting to see that that's not the case. If it's backed by an asset, that's great. But what if the asset wasn't estimated properly to begin with? So you need to make sure from the point of inception, it's like, no, we have a pretty accurate assessment of what the reserve actually holds.
Because it's not common to see the reserves overestimated by twice as much, and then you're taking out leverage on that. Then they come into production way under, and then that production can't even service the debt that you levered up on.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you just have to keep drilling.
Yeah, it's just like it never ends.
It's a vicious cycle.
It always ends in chapter 11.
Yeah,
it's a very common problem right now where we actually go in there and we book reserve based on the parent well. And we didn't take any well interference into account when we drill the child well. So that is really the key point that we have to really solve.